On this All Saints' Day, we hear these readings from Isaiah, the prophet, and they almost seem to be reiterated by the reading of Revelation. And in the midst of them, two things seem to come through. One is that vision of what will be eternal, and the vision of that is just majestic. When we hear from Isaiah what will happen on that mountain, a feast of rich foods, of wines filled with, or of rich food filled with marrow, and of wine strained clear, we get this idea that what's in store is beyond our expectation. It's as if you went out and said, I need the best of, let me think. I need the best food, the best location, the best people around me. Well, let's just say we need the best of everything. And that's what Isaiah's vision is what God has in store for us, the best of everything. And then when we hear some of that reiterated in Revelation, because we're talking about now the New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven. Now, if this is coming down out of heaven, we got to believe this is, again, the absolute pinnacle of what God has in store for us. And all of that is being opened up to us. But in the midst of that, we're reminded that we're not there yet. We're reminded that we're still here, in fact. I mean, at the beginning of that passage from Revelation, we hear God say, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And we're somewhere in between. And in this in between, life is real. And in this in between, death is real. And so in this in between, tears are real. So neither Isaiah nor the author of Revelation told us, don't cry anymore. You have all of the hope in Jesus Christ, so there's no reason for crying. But in fact, they acknowledge it. They acknowledge the fact that there are going to be at times in the in-between, between the Alpha and the Omega, that there will be tears on our face. And thank God for that. Thank God for the intimacy of tears. Thank God for all that it brings to our lives. And think about this. If we were saying to ourselves, we simply cannot cry, we cannot allow that to be a part of our lives, then God would have nothing to wipe away. But it's actually God's desire to visit us in the most intimate times of our life, to be with us when emotions bubble over. That's where God rests. We are in between. We have banquets that bring us incredible joy, but they're not quite yet the banquet that God has in store. We have pains that well up inside us, and they show themselves in tears, and they let us know that we're real and that we're present. And God looks at those tears and says, that's where I am. God may be the Alpha and the Omega, but God is present here in the midst of all of that. And when we hear that imagery from Isaiah and from Revelation, it doesn't sound like just a banquet. It actually kind of sounds like a family reunion. It sounds like when everybody is going to be together again, and you can't wait but to bring out the best of what you have, the best of your stories, the best of your intimacy, the best of your gatherings together. And you'll remember all that guided you through your life. And sometimes in those moments, a tear will fall from your eyes. And in God's kingdom, God will invite you in to a new Jerusalem. And God will reach out with a tender hand and wipe the tear away. But for now, we are here. The Alpha has been, the Omega is yet to come, and the tears are real.